Isis and a lonely young American talks about how Alex, a lonely girl who lived with her grandparents, spending lots of time on Twitter, got in touch with her online friends who were radical Islam. She was gradually influenced to become a Muslim. The author Rukmini, as a correspondent for the New York Times, is familiar with Islamic extremism and has published some articles about it, such as Underwriting the Truth, showing her opposing attitude towards extremism. In this article, she tried her best to describe the truth objectively. She used lots of quotes of what Alex had said and Alex's own belief and her feeling, and the communication record with Faisal. The reverse here showed what Alex directly think and their record on Skype. She also provided possible explanation for ISIS behavior to explain its recruiting. You can see the blue words here. She analyzed ISIS strategy when it was recruiting people. This can be seen as a match to Alex's case. At first, make friends with Alex and send gifts to her, and then discuss truth with her and introduce base of Islam and isolate Alex from the world and force Alex to obey several rules such as wearing headscarves. This is the strategy of ISIS to convert Alex to become a Muslim, and it also used some methods to find common ground between the ISIS and Alex. At first, they answered Alex's questions very politely, and then they also spent overnight talking about platonic topic with Alex. It is like to building a common ground between them to let Alex believe that they are all pursuing the truth and discussing the truth, so to let Alex become more belief in ISIS. What's more, the author also showed the transition of Alex in an objective way, directly quoting Alex's positive attitude toward ISIS and the change of her thought on Christian, her former belief. We can see that on Church's days how Alex's mindset has been changed because of the wash hand by the ISIS. However, such storytelling still contains confirmation bias. First is from the author's background. The author's stepfather was a dissident who spent a decade under house arrest after criticizing the region of the Romanian dictator. So the author already had some emotional bias here because she understands how people might feel under strict control by extremists. So she might feel the same in the same cases in ISIS 1. And what's more, she has already worked on this topic for a long time, so she may already have her own view in it, which she will brought it into ISIS cases. And I also have my own interpretive bias when reading this article, because I got the impression from the article what ISIS wants, that ISIS are the people who killing people with no rationality and they are cruel radical. So what's more, when I reading this article, the video and photos here also convince me with negative emotion that by its grave music narrated sketch and its photo of lonely people and empty places. But I also have some change in my mind after I reading this article. At first, I felt like the people who are willing to convert themselves to ISIS are the people who are very naive. But now I understand that the people who converted them to ISIS are the people who always feel lonely and lack of connection with each other and lack of belief. And ISIS can provide them with close relationship with each other and provide them with a thing to believe. And I also understand that ISIS are not an irrational organization. Actually, they know how to use emotional intelligence, to use strategy, and to use network effects to influence the people. Like the example in the article that they are not only going to convert Alice to be an Islam, but also her brother. And so that's why ISIS are very rational and systematic. And I find other resources which help me to better understand the context and to understand how ISIS recruit people in the world.